Mark from Missouri. You are live on the air. Go ahead with your question.
My thoughts on Jesus today, I would like to have a little feedback from Tovia, is Jesus incarnated at a time where it seemed that there was a temple in place, and that in order for people to feel like their sins were forgiven, they had a mediator. They had to bring sacrifices of animals and come to priests, and so Jesus incarnated to move all that out of the way. And of course, as we all know, the churches have reestablished and so you have to go to them, and there's a mediator. And I just don't see that was the mission of Jesus in the first place, is to put a mediator back in. And so I think what we're looking for today, again, as Tovia keeps reiterating, is that there's going to be a time when the Messiah today is going to be revealed, that everybody across the whole earth will know who God is. And we will all realize we're one. And I just wanted to kind of get a little feedback on Tovia on what he thinks the new Messiah revealing will be compared to what Jesus was back then.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, Mark, go ahead and hang up now to you for your answer. Thank you. It's a good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
You betcha.
Thank you. Thank you. I think you're very accurately characterizing how the Christian Bible and the Christian religion portrays Jesus as the mediator. Because in the Pauline view, God is completely inaccessible. And the only way to get to God is through Jesus. And it's not just because a Pauline letter says that there's one God and one mediator between man and God, that's the man Jesus Christ. But I am the way, the truth, and life. No one can come to the Father but by me. And that's in the Gospels itself. As it turns out, Hashem loves you and he wants a relationship with you personally. You don't need a mediator. But if you feel like a filthy, dirty sinner who never had a chance because you were poisoned with original sin, Romans chapter 5, verse 12, then you need somebody or something to stand between you and God. The Catholics amp this up and go, you can't even get to Jesus on your own. You need the Theotokos, you need the God bearer, the mother of God, to, like, you can pray to her. In fact, the last pronouncement made by a pope, that an infallible pronouncement ex cathedra, was in 1950 by Pope Pius XII. What an appropriate name. Who stated that the Assumption of Mary was something that the flock must believe. Mary, Mary, Mary. Why Mary? Why is she? I mean, the Pope that just died, had this special connection to Mary and wanted to be buried in a church that is, he believed, connected to her. And why all the saints? All of it is putting barriers between you and God. As it turns out, during the temple times, people turned to the God of Israel. Hashem loves you. You're his child. You are children of the Lord your God. Now, it is so true that when we take the physical and raise it to the spiritual, we're elevating ourselves. When we brought in offering, a korban, which really means to come close. It doesn't mean a sacrifice at all. It raised us up because we're taking the physical and raising it into the spiritual realm. We do that when we're careful, not just about what we eat, but how we eat. We make a blessing over the food and a blessing after we eat the food and say, this is all from you, Hashem. All the idolatries in the world seek to place a mediator between man and God, because all the idolatries in the world see God as really, you can't reach him. He's inaccessible. He's too big. He is so just and perfect. And what are you? A filthy, dirty sinner. As I'm speaking right now, tens of millions of Americans are in churches right now. And that's what they're hearing from the pulpit, that you're a filthy sinner and Jesus is that mediator. It's
All right.
interesting that we're told that Jesus said to the Samaritan woman in John 4 that salvation is of the Jews. What the context there is that he's saying to her that the Jews have it right about Jerusalem, not like your fathers who don't know, because she's a Samaritan woman and her fathers thought that that the holy city was in Gerizim, not Yerushalayim. The content of the Jews is correct, but think about what did Daniel do when there was no temple? After all, God called him beloved, right? So there's no mediator that's necessary. In fact, anything between us and God is a disaster. Now, it's true that when we circumcise our son, or when my grandson was circumcised, so my son-in-law didn't perform the circumcision. He's not trained to do that. Most people are not. So people do that for you, but they're not mediated to you in God. And we are commanded by the Almighty to have devekus with Hashem, to cleave to God. Now, I'll tell you an interesting thing. The Deuteronomy 6:4 is the most famous verse in the entire Hebrew Bible. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Right? Why is that so important? Because if God is one alone, there's nothing else. He is one. That's it. Atu Hashem levadecha, you alone are Lord, Nehemiah 9:6. That means God must love you. He only created mankind out of an act of love, supreme love. And that's why it's so striking that what is the next verse? Deuteronomy 6, but verse 5 and 6. V'ahavta es Adonai Elohecha. And therefore, I'm putting in the word therefore, but it's and, it begins with a connector. You shall love the Lord your God. Why are they connected? Because if there's one God, that means Hashem is saying, I love you. That's why I brought you to this world. I didn't need you. There's nothing you possess that I lack, nothing you can give me that I don't have. So that means God could have only created this world because of an act of supreme love for mankind. He loves you. You're his daughter. So Shema Yisrael, that creed, is God saying, I love you. And that's why it's connected with the next verse, V'ahavta es Hashem Lekecha, and therefore you should say, I love you too. That's why they're bound in such a marital dance between God and man. The oneness of God conveys his love for mankind. The danger of religions like Christianity is conveying to people that they're unworthy of that relationship, and worse, that you need a mediator between God and man. And it is very appealing to someone whose self-esteem is shot, who feels dirty, who feels sinful, feels unworthy and unforgivable. And Hashem says, I will forgive you. Just come to me and I'll return to me and I'll return to you. And that's what monotheism really is. Monotheism is, there's nothing in between you and God. He's waiting for you. He wants that relationship with you. Just turn to him and he will turn to you. Thank you for your thoughtful question.
If you enjoyed this channel and the content, and it has changed your life, or perhaps the life of a loved one or a close friend, would you please consider supporting this work? You can click this link and it'll take you directly to my website with the donate button. Or there's a Patreon link and a mailing address for snail mail if you would prefer. If you do donate, please do me a favor and leave me a phone number where I can contact you and thank you properly. I hope you all have a wonderful 2025. Shalom.